Good morning. So yesterday we went through the foundation, right, of Marketing Cloud. We went through Email Studio, we went through subscribers, through lists, through data extension, through sendable and non-sendable data extension. We identified what are primary keys and what is personalization, right? So today we are going to connect all of that. We'll actually understand what is the end-to-end life cycle of email campaign. We'll see what that customer sees in their inbox, how we create this email, how Marketing Cloud determines where this or who this email came from, and also we'll see how we configure a test send and how A/B testing works. All right. Finally, we can see how we will measure the end results after an email is done. Okay. And if time persists, I'll show you a practical airline campaign example. All right. So today we've divided into 6 areas, right? First, we'll understand the anatomy of email. Okay. Then how that creation works. Then we look into something very important. You will see while sending, right? There is something called as send classification. So before we send an email, it's divided into sender profile and delivery profile. Okay. I'll explain that concept. Then we'll move on to guided sends, like different methods of sending an email, test sends and triggered sends. Okay. Then we'll move on to A/B testing and just compare briefly with Journey Builder. Then we'll cover tracking, and finally, all of this I'll show you in demo. Okay. So this is today's agenda. Now let's move on to email creation workflow. So before opening Marketing Cloud and getting that access, right, let's understand the full process, what works or what it is in email creation, right? There are 5 stages. There is define. So here we define what is there in the email, like what is the name, what is the subject, what is pre-header. Then we go to design. We design the template, whether it is a drag and drop, whether it's HTML. Then we move over to content. What is there inside the body? What are the images? What is the personalization? What we want to convey to the customer? Then after we have, you know, kind of figured out what content we need, then it's done, right? So we have the design, we have moving on. So finally, we can test that what we have created. So what do you mean by test? Within Marketing Cloud, there is an option where we can preview. So what we can preview the content based on different customers, how it will be seen in their inbox. Okay, then we can also send a test send to ourselves and see how it is in our inbox based on customer context, right? Then finally, we can do the send based on customer whenever they want. So there are 3 things important in an email. So there is a subject. Then do you guys know what pre-header is? So pre-header, it shows in the inbox, right? Before you open, below the subject, there will be one small line. Have you guys observed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the pre-header. And from name and from address, right? From name. So here, it I have written that you should match your SAP configuration. Consistent from name builds brand recognition and trust. So do you guys, are you aware what is SAP?
Sender authentication package.
Exactly. So sender authentication package, this is basically what I explained yesterday, right? This is a domain where the DNS settings are matching the Marketing Cloud. So the Gmail, Outlook, or that internet service providers, when they see that, okay, this email has been sent, they don't push it to spam or promotion, like different ones, right? They push it directly to inbox or promotional or wherever it is not in junk. So the better reputation that your domain has, the more chance of it falling on inbox. Okay. If many people click on unsubscribe or spam, then your reputation will decrease of your domain which you're sending, and it will go to junk or spam. Okay. So that's that. Then I just wanted to show you anatomy of how an email is, right? So if you see, if you open that email, on the head, you can see this is the from name. Then this will be the from email. Okay. When you open an email, then there is the subject and then there is the pre-header. Okay. So from name and from email is something we can configure while setting up the domain. Okay. Here in this example, skylineairways.com is the SAP. Okay. Because Skyline Airways is the client, and this will be the SAP. And its SAP is nothing but a domain you should purchase and talk with Salesforce to make sure that all the DNS settings are aligned. So once you purchase that SAP, again, all of these clicks and branding and this private domain attached, like offers, that you can put anything, it will get verified and you can send. Okay. So that's the concept of what is there in an email. Okay. So again, see, the logo will be the brand identity. Then this is like what is inside. Earlier I showed you what, like from name and email, right? So this one, you can see what is inside the email. Usually it will, I mean, see, there is no one version of an email, right? Based on different industries, based on different customer intent, different campaigning, there will be different types of emails. But just to give you a high level, see, this is a hero image or the starter, and this is a personalization or salutation, greeting. Then there is the body, what content you want to convey, right? Then the final, like CTA, this is called as CTA, right? A click to action. This is the button. Basically, this is the hero or the main agenda what you send the email. Okay. Then there is the footer. So in Marketing Cloud or in any email, there are compliance according to different countries. So some countries like USA and Europe, they have GDPR in Europe, which is very, they make sure that all the data should be very critical and they should be used in a very careful way. So in an email, they say you should always have a physical mailing address down as well as option to unsubscribe. If the customer feels that this message is not as per my liking, they can choose to unsubscribe and we should respect that. So as per different regions, there are different compliances on how many days you get to remove this customer. So there are 14 days, there are 7 days, and all of that, right? We need to see which region we are focused to, and then we need to send. Okay. So one thing I want you to remember, guys, creating an email and sending an email are two different activities, right? So testing sits between the email. Okay. So email editor options in Marketing Cloud, right? There are different types that we can build. So the common approach is drag and drop. Like this is the most marketer friendly. Here, like we can just pull text blocks or image blocks, buttons, layouts right into the email template itself, right? There's no coding required at all. And then once the blocks you pull there, you can add image, you can add text and directly make the send. There's one other, which is HTML, right? So if you have a like a web development team or a creative team that provides custom HTML that you can based on what customer wants, then there is an option that developers can directly paste it into this Marketing Cloud. Okay. Then there is template based. So what is template based? It's very common in enterprise. Like you guys know, right? What is a template? So the brand team, they already provide approved header, approved footer, approved layout, so that campaign users simply update the relevant content. Like they might just add text and send because the whole thing is already sent, right? The template is already approved, it's already sent. And this is one more example that I can share from yesterday, that the template which I was talking about from parent BU, it can be approved and it can be shared to the child BU. And child BU will use the same template, but the content and the context will be different. Okay. All right. I'll show you all of this in the org, all right? So yeah. Now, so we've created our email, right? And now, but still Marketing Cloud needs something very important. What does it need? It needs to understand who is sending this email, right? And what is the delivery configuration used. So this is where send classification comes in. Okay. Send classification, it might sound very complicated to you guys, but it's very simple. Okay. It is, think of it like who is sending. So sender profile contains things like from name, from email, reply name, and reply email. Okay. So now you can think, imagine Skyline Airways. Okay, this is our example. So this might send an email from offers@skyline.com. But when you get it to your inbox and you reply, but the reply is going to support@skylineairways.com, right? So that's why from email and reply email, they don't need to be same. Okay. This one and this one. Because this one is the one which we are using to send, but this one has the inbox. So it will go to them, right? So that's the difference basically. And we can set, if we want a reply to go to our support or case management, we can send that to this. If we want our reply to go to the vendor who is, like if it's a e-commerce platform and you want to check where my issue is, then again you can put it to support. But if you want to do some promotional event, then you can put it to the people who are doing that promotional event. So that's how you can control your reply email. This happens in the sender profile itself. Okay. You can configure a sender profile and you can configure what is the name should be, what is my email from name, what is my reply name, and who should be the reply going to. Okay. That is the sender profile. Now, delivery profile. Like, what is delivery profile? Think of it as how is it being delivered? Okay, this will contain all delivery related configuration. Okay, so what is there in delivery is IP address. So the domain will always carry an IP address on the back end, right? To make sure that it has configuration for sending. Okay, and delivery profile is where we can select the header and footer content. Okay, and then as I said, right, physical mailing address is very important due to CAN spam. CAN spam is a compliance term. Then there is the delivery configuration settings. Okay, this is where the we configure based on whether it is commercial send, whether it is transactional send, and I will show that in the next slide. Okay, so now basically you can think of send classification as some combination of sender profile and delivery profile. Okay, together they'll be reused over and over again to send campaigns. Okay, now I'll just give you like a memory trick. So sender profile is like who sent, okay, and delivery profile is how it is sent. Okay, and the totally we call send classification as like the configuration we select for any send, including who and how. Okay, so when we go to that guided send shortly, I'll show you how we actually select this and where we do all of this. Okay, do you guys have any questions up until now? So now I explained about sender profile and delivery profile, right? Now there's another very important concept. Okay, suppose Skyline Airways sends like 20% off on flights to Singapore. Book today they've sent, right? Why did they send it? Do you know the purpose of 20% off? Like what type of email that is, guys?
Related to offers in the room.
Related
Those
to offers, exactly. So basically, let me explain. There are two types, right? It's related to marketing or promotional purpose, right? Think of it this way. There are different ones, right? There is newsletter, there is loyalty promotion, there is sales announcement, all of this, that's commercial. Okay. Now, what is transactional? Now, imagine I book a flight to Singapore. Immediately, I receive the booking number, right? I receive that it has been confirmed. So that communication is transactional. Okay. So all of this, right? Booking confirmation, password reset, account alert, shipping update, all of this are based on transaction or some process that they need to immediately receive that confirmation, right? So that is called transactional emails. Okay. Now, a passenger books a flight and immediately receives their itinerary. Is this commercial or transactional?
transaction.
Exactly. So you can think of it like this, guys. Commercial will have anything which has some promotional or some offers, okay? And transactional will be based on anything that you perform, like booking, order, shipping, password reset, OTP, all of that, okay? One major important item here is this commercial requires unsubscribe option. Because if people think, hey, this is too spammy for me, I don't want this offers, I don't like flight at all, I go only in train. So they can click on unsubscribe and commercial emails won't be sent. But transactional does not need to be having that unsubscribe. Okay. And it can also be sent to people who have unsubscribed because this is transactional. This carries some value. Okay. So this can avoid that completely. And even if you have unsubscribed, you will get that because this is something which is very valuable, let's say. Okay. So is this clear, guys? What is transactional and what is commercial? This is a very important concept. This can be handled in here, delivery profile, right? In send classification, you can handle. I'll show you that in the demo as well, okay? So moving on. So what is guided send, guys? Guided send is in Email Studio, right? You can use the send option for a created email that will show you the step-by-step process, like 1, 2, 3, 4 will be seen. I'll show you this in the tool also, where initially you have to select the email. Once you select the email, again, on the right-hand side, you can see you can drag and drop the audience. Then you can have exclusion or suppressions. Then you need to send the send classification, what explained to you earlier, right? Send a profile, delivery profile, based on whether what content it is, whether it is commercial or whether it is transactional. And finally, you can either send now or schedule it for later. Okay. This is a guided send option, and always make sure, guys, that you preview it and you try to test send it. And you that's when we actually find out, right, what's wrong with the email and how it's looking. Is it according to what I want and all of that. Okay. So basically, you can, at the core, right, think of it as which email am I sending? Then who am I sending it to? Then can I just have everyone or do I need someone to remove? Then how should it go? who should it go to, then whether it's immediate or it's a planned one. So think like that, okay?